Good morning, Senator Bill Cassidy joining us this morning. How are you?
Hey, Rob, I'm good, man.
It's good to talk to you, and lots going on, obviously, as Washington is always a very exciting place to be, as you can imagine. Lots of different bills. I'll start with the one yesterday, really still making news. Your thoughts about the ruling by the Supreme Court on the abortion bill is specific to Texas. However, Louisiana does have a similar law in place, just regarding how doctors should have hospital privileges in the places where they practice. Opponents obviously say that forced the closure of most abortion clinics in Texas. What are your thoughts on this, sir?
There's two aspects to it. One, that they should have privileges at a hospital. First, I'm a physician, so I'm taking this from a doctor's position. One is that there should be hospital admitting privileges, and the others that the equipment at the abortion clinic should be somewhat similar to or certified and clean, et cetera, as in a hospital surgical suite. Now, whether they have admitting privileges or not, probably they could refer to a physician who's on call and send them there if there's a problem. On the other hand, the standards that are kept at the facility itself, where do you stop? Gosnell, that guy up in Philadelphia who ended up doing all these abortions, killing some of the fetuses after they were born in incredibly unsterile conditions. Do we not regulate against that? The hospital, this place where they're doing the abortions, they're not supposed to have a crash cart in case somebody has a bad problem. That troubles me more. That troubles me because if you can't start establishing standards for that, there's going to be no bottom, and then a woman's life can be in trouble.
Yeah, I feel very similar to the way you do, in the sense that it's really not a fight against women's rights to offer better care, is what it ultimately comes down to, though obviously the opponents believe it just limits access. Moving on to another issue, especially in medicine, another, is it an epidemic yet? I don't know what it's classified as CDC-wise, but Zika seems like it's just growing, the geographical region where Zika is occurring. Where are we now, and what about additional funding?
Zika is going to grow. And Louisiana is one of those areas in the United States in which Zika could come. There is the mosquito. We have the climate. We could have a problem with Zika. The fortunate thing is that we in Louisiana, typically our parishes have pretty good mosquito control programs. That said, I can just tell you, we need to defeat Zika before it gets to our shore. So there's been this fight going on as to how much you fund it. And Republicans and Democrats had agreed to about $1.1 billion. That's a chunk of change. And that will take you through into the next year. If you need more money, you then appropriate it. I'm told that Democrats are going to oppose the bill because it is not $1.9 billion instead of $1.1 billion. They want money that has already been spent to be paid back to these different funds. I'm saying, wait a second, if the money was available, taxpayers need accountability and they need efficiency. If there's money available from other programs not being used, we should use it for this. And by the way, if we need more money in the future, we can go back and get it. So it may be that Zika funding will go down because folks want, or the other side wants, even more than $1.1 billion. I would give them more, by the way. But if we get $1.1 billion now, let's go with the $1.1 billion.
Obviously, this is a time-sensitive situation that, like you said, we need to get under control before it reaches our shores. Is there money left?
I used to do vaccination work, and so everybody would say, "Well, it costs so much to vaccinate a child. It costs us $50 to vaccinate a child, but to do the whole city would cost us, I forget what it cost us, maybe $50,000. One liver transplant would cost $350,000 in the first year. So one child born with microencephaly, a small brain with all the neurologic deficits, is going to cost society a lot of money. So let's stamp it out early. Let's keep it off our shores. Let's go with it. I'm not sure my Democratic colleagues agree with that.
Is there leftover money from the Ebola, the money that was set aside when we had was it last year? Or yeah, it was last summer, I guess, or last spring when we started to see this Ebola build up.
Ebola was 2 years ago, but there is $600 billion left over, and that's part of the money.
Wow. Okay. Unbelievable. Well, we'll keep you up to date on that, especially as that happens. I assume you're following the presidential race as it as it happens. There's a guy named Trump who's running for your party. Your thoughts on how it's going? Is it what you expected? Do you have high hopes for Trump?
Well, I think Trump's tapping into the fact that the American people are frustrated with Washington, D.C., and Obama's jobs programs, if you will, have not worked. And our economy is growing very poorly. In the meantime, American workers are getting laid off. His Clean Power Plan, they just had an analysis come out last week by another governmental agency that says it will cost 400,000 jobs. So he's sacrificing our jobs. I think Trump could capitalize on that. So far, his campaign has not really moved into general election mode. His campaign has kind of stumbled over the last month. I say that not because I'm glad. I'm sad. We just need the guy to get his campaign together.
And I know a big part of that, as commander-in-chief, you are in charge of the military. I know a vote is coming up on military funding. Any preview about where that's going, or where you hope it will go?
That's connected with Zika, if you can believe this. Democrats, and I don't want to be partisan, because by golly, if somebody listening now is a Democrat, I'm here to support you and to represent you and work hard for you. But up here in Washington, D.C., it's a little bit of a different situation. And I think that Democrats will vote against the military construction budget because it's part of Zika. Wait, we have troops in the field. We have, drones trying to find out bad guys, ISIS members, and all this to protect our country and to take the fight to them, not to let them bring it to us. But because we're not getting even more money than as they want, they're willing to put on hold both the military budget and the Zika fight. I just don't get it.
All right, we will keep up to date with that vote as well as it happens. Senator Bill Cassidy joining us early this morning. We appreciate your time, sir.
Hey, thank you, Rob.